Hi, it's Shane from plantbasedrunner.com, and today we're going to talk all about protecting your gear. Okay, so you're investing in an instrument and you need to take care of it. I mean, buying your guitar or your bass or whatever is only part of it. Uh, Unless you're just going to take it home and never take it outside, you're going to need some kind of protection for your instrument. Um, the easiest and probably the cheapest is a gig bag, and these can be as cheap as $50, but you get what you pay for, of course. Nice thing about a gig bag is they're cheaper than a hard shell, and you just throw your bass in or your guitar, and usually there's straps so you can put it on like a backpack. You got a couple extra hands. They're good padding. The really good ones, I know people that fly with their instrument in a gig bag. The really good ones, you can do that, and you do a thing called a gate check. You don't actually check it with luggage. You carry it through security and right up to the plane basically, and you leave it in the in the in the alleyway there, so that the flight crew can pick it up and put it in by hand and stuff, and just kind of treat it a little bit more gently. But you really need to invest in a really good gig bag if you're going to do that. And the nice thing about gig bags is just everything's so portable. Um, I personally will use a gig bag on a local gig, but if I'm flying or on a bus tour, I have a hard shell case. And the hard shell cases are a little bit more expensive, and you don't have to get a custom. I've had custom cases built before, but they're really expensive. But you can also get pre-made hard shell cases. They're plastic, like a heavy duty plastic, and you can get those at your music store, and they fit most bases. Yeah, hard shell for me is the way to go. It just protects things a little better. You check them like you would luggage in the special baggage area, and yeah, they get beat up a little bit more, but they can take it. And for me, it's just more peace of mind. And you know what? Damage can still happen in a hard shell case, but less likely than in a gig bag. And you know what? There's probably just as many instruments damaged in a hard shell as there is in gig bags. I mean, accidents happen and stuff. So, but for me, just peace of mind. It's nicer to have a hard shell. Now, the downside to a hard shell is you have to wait like you would luggage for it to come out. So if you're on a one-off and you got a backpack with your stage clothes in and you just want to get out of there quick, you've still got to wait for your luggage like everybody else. Whereas a soft shell, when you carry it through security to the gate, it'll be there when you get off the plane, so you can grab it. And if you got no other luggage, you just away you go. So that's a really nice part of it. If you have pedals, most pedal boards these days come with cases. So usually, pedals are pretty tough. They're usually made of metal and made for road travel and stuff. So pedals are a whole different thing. And you know what, the little pedal boards come with the little carrying case. You can get a hard shell case for them, but I see most people will carry them on a plane, so, or put them in their luggage if they got a big suitcase. So they don't need as much protection, but they still need protection because things can get busted off and stuff. So it's always good to have, if you're having pedals, if you only got a couple, you can put them in your gig bag or your case. But if you got actual pedals that you need to put on a pedal board, most of those come with a padded case, so it's usually not that big a deal. And for me, I use rack gear. I have my power conditioner, my wireless, my preamp, my tuner, my tube DI and everything, and I have that in a hard shell case. It's a molded plastic hard shell case. You can get custom built wooden cases like that are shock mounted, which means it's like a case within a case with foam in between, which are the best, but they're also a lot heavier. And when you're flying, like you get, for me anyways, I get up to 50 pounds per item. So when I start going with custom cases, they're heavy to begin with, where this can kind of, gives you good protection, but isn't too heavy, so you're not over your weight limit. But I mean, stuff can still get damaged. I flew from Vancouver to Boston once, and when I got to Boston, I opened up the front rack lid, and my tube DI, which sits on 16 gauge rack ears, was totally bent out. Like, it must have fell from the plane onto the tarmac or something to bend it that much, because those things are strong. The good news is it's a radial DI, and of course those things are bulletproof, and I basically just used my foot to bend them back and then put them back in the rack, and everything worked fine. There was no problem, and I was relieved about that. But so if you're going rack mount gear, you can get a soft shell case too that are smaller. If you only got a couple pieces, again, you can fly them, put them up on the overhead compartments. Or if you're just going around town, like if you're playing in town, those soft racks are really good too, because they're cheaper, they're not as heavy, and if you're just going from your house to the car to the gig and then back again, you don't really need a hard case for all your rack mount gear. So, and finally, big for me is insurance. I get my insurance through my union, but there's a lot of companies that will provide gear insurance. I know it's expensive, but you only need to use it once for it to pay for itself. So it's something that I wouldn't ever go without. I've had a base stolen, and it was replaced with insurance. And actually, I got an upgrade, so it was well worth it. And another time, one of my bases, I was doing a corporate for a bank, and they had a big wooden backdrop, and a big gust of wind came up and blew it over and knocked over my my base, and it was like a really nice custom finish and all that, and got it all scratched up, and the insurance took care of repairing it right to exactly the way it was. So those couple times for me really made it worthwhile to have insurance. And you hear people who, you know, get stuff stolen out of their vehicles all the time, or out of the club or whatever, and it's a drag, and it's even worse when you don't have insurance, because now it's a hard time to replace all that gear, and it's just financially, you know, you're stuck trying to piece together something again to where you were. So insurance definitely is a good thing, and I know it's expensive, but not nearly as expensive as having to replace all your gear. So there you go. That's basically protecting your gear, the ways you can do that. So hopefully you learned something out of that, and hopefully you'll look after your gear, and it'll be with you for years to come. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Hey, if you like this video or any of the others I've done, hit that subscribe button. And if you're looking for bass lessons, head on over to my website, plantbassrunner.com. Go to my contact page, send me a note. We'll work something out. Thanks for watching.